जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन व्रजन जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदन जय व्रजजन रंजन जय यशोदानंदन जय व्रजजन रंजन जय यशोदानंदन जय व्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरावनचारी कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरावनचारी कुंज राधा माधव हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada.
Gaur Premanand.
Hari Hari Bol.
Today we are reciting from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29, verse number 10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
We will recite the words. 329:10. Karma nirharam udishya. Karmaniharam udishya parasimin vatad arpanam. Parasmin vatad arpanam. Yajat yastavyam itiva. Yadat yastavyam itiva. Pratak bhava sa satvika. Pratak bhava sa satvika. Karmaniharam uddeshya parasmin vatad arpanam. Yadat yastavyam itiva. Pratak bhava sa satvika. Karmaniharam uddeshya parasmin vatad arpanam. Yajet yastavyam itiva. Pratak bhava sa satvika. Parasmin vatad arpanam. Yajet yasvat vavyam itiva. Pratak bhava sa satvika.
Karma nidharamudeshya.
Karmaniharamudeshya
Parasmin Patadarpanam.
parasmin vatad arpanam.
Yajet yashtavyamiti va.
Yajet yastavyam itiva.
Bhavasya satvika.
Pratak bhava sa satvika. Synonyms: karma,
Karma.
fruitive activities.
Fruitive activities.
Nirharam,
Nirharam.
feeling himself from.
Freeing himself from.
Freeing himself from.
Freeing himself.
Uddeshya,
Uddeshya.
with the purpose of.
With the purpose of.
Parasmin,
Parasmin.
to the Supreme Personality of
The
Godhead.
Supreme Personality of God.
Va,
Va.
or
Va.
tad arpanam,
Tadarpanam.
offering the results of activities.
Offering the result of activities.
Yajet,
Yajet.
may worship.
May worship.
Yastavyam,
Yashtavyam.
to be worshipped.
To be worshipped.
Iti,
Iti.
thus.
Thus.
Va,
Va.
or
Or.
pratak bhava,
Pratak Bhava.
separatist.
Separatist.
Sa,
Saha,
he, Satvika,
Satvika,
in the mode of goodness.
in the model of goodness.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: when a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the result of his in order to free himself from the inabilities of fruitive activities, his devotional service is in mode of goodness. Purport: the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas are the member of the 8 divisions of Varnas and Ashrama, and they have their respective duties to perform for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When such activities are performed and the results are offered to the Supreme Lord, they are called karma, karmarpanam, duties offered for the satisfaction of the Lord. If there is any inabilities or fault in it, it is atoned for by his offering process. But if this offering process is in mode of goodness rather than in pure devotion, then the interest is different. The 4 ashramas and the 4 varnas act for some benefits in accordance with their personal interest. Therefore, such activities are in the mode of goodness. They cannot be counted in the category of pure devotional service. Pure devotional service, as described by Rupa Goswami, is free from all material desires. Anyabhilashita shunyam. And there can be no excuse for personal and or material interest. Devotional activities should be transcendental to fruitive activities and empiric philosophical speculation. Pure devotional service is transcendental to all material qualities. Devotional service in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness can be divided into 81 categories. There are different devotional activities such as hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, offering prayer, rendering service, and surrendering everything. And each of them can be divided into 3 qualitative categories. There is hearing in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance, and in the mode of goodness. Similarly, there is chanting in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness, etc. 3 multiplied by 9 equals 27, and when again multiplied by 3, it becomes 81. One has to transcend all such mixed materialistic devotional service in order to reach the standard of pure devotional service as explained in the next verse. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuyonmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamstam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lata Shri Vishakhanvitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vishya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनकारुणं परमानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरे कृष्ण. Hare Krishna. I seek blessings of all the devotees so that I can glorify with my limited realization the, the glorious scripture Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. So in today's verse, Lord Kapila Dev is speaking to Devahuti, and Lord Kapila Dev is giving the knowledge of devotional service in the different modes, and also later in this chapter, Kapila Muni also will explain the devotional service when you transcend the three modes. So today's verse is specifically focusing on the devotional service in the mode of goodness. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying that if you follow Varnashram Dharma properly, then you are doing devotional service in the mode of goodness. If you are following your ashram, whether you are brahmachari, grahastha, vanapastra, or sannyasi, and so if you are following it perfectly, that means you are doing devotional service in the mode of goodness. And there are so many examples in our past, in the scriptures, and even the people who were in the moment, whom we can take as a guidance, as an example, to see what they do when people in the mode of goodness. In our congregation also, we see devotees such as Shamananda Krishna Prabhu, Achyut Gopal Prabhu. They are always in mode of goodness. If we see their activities, we'll come to know how we should perform devotional service when we are in mode of goodness. So, devotees in the mode of goodness offer their fruitive activities so that they can get they so that they can get out of this material world. Their only motive while doing devotional service is to please the Lord, and please the Lord in such a way that they all their material desires go away. There is so much difference in good devotional service in goodness and in pure devotional service. In pure devotion, in devotional service in goodness, you at least have some motive to worship, such as you want to be free from all your desires, you want to get rid of your anarthas, and you want to go back to Godhead. That is the motive of a devotee who is performing devotional service in the mode of goodness. But a devotee who is performing a devotional service in pure devotional service, transcend the three modes, they have no motive. Either they stay in this material world or suffer, or they go in spiritual world or enjoy, or they get liberation, or they rot in this material world. Their only aim is to please Lord, please Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. They don't have any motive of any sort. There is no tinge of material motive or spiritual motive. The only desire they have is to please Krishna. As yesterday Shamanand Krishna Prabhu was saying in his class, that oneness. What is that oneness? The oneness is not like we have to go and merge in Brahman. The oneness is of thoughts. The oneness is of desire of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our desire should be aligning in the desire of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then only we are in the oneness with Supreme Personality of God. but impersonalists have a different version of oneness, but we are not looking at it. We are looking at the desire of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if someone desires, somebody's desire is aligning with Supreme Personality of Godhead and nothing else, they don't want anything for themselves. That is pure devotional service. And Rupa Goswami in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying, Rupa Goswami says in his Nectar of Devotion or Nectar of Devotion that Anya Bilashita Sunyam, that famous word, we should not have any tinge of desire except one desire to please Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is pure devotional service. And also, Srila Prabhupada is explaining there are 81 81 categories of devotional service. And all these 81 categories of devotional service are not pure devotional service. Because all these 81 categories of devotional service are mixed with modes. For example, there are 9 devotional service which are said in Srimad Bhagavatam, which Amrish Maharaj used to perform. And in that 9 devotional service, each devotional service can be performed under the mode of passion, goodness, and ignorance. And again, in that we can divide 3 mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. How is it? First of all, there is two things while performing devotional service. We perform devotional service with our gross body. We perform devotional service with our intentions. So if we perform devotional service with gross body, it is easily visible whether the person is performing devotional service in mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. For example, if we are chanting and if we are chanting with full focus externally, like we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We are chanting and we are hearing properly. We are chanting and we are hearing properly. And then we are in the mode of goodness. And when we are in the mode of passion, we are chanting, but we are doing some activities here and there. Like we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then we are doing some other service like what to say, pot washing, or we are our half mind, our half focus is on one service, and other some focus is on chanting, or we are doing something else. So that is mode of passion, visibly, grossly visible that it is in mode of passion. And then if we are chanting and we are sleeping, when we are chanting, we are dozing off, or we are feeling very lazy to chant. That is in mode of ignorance, visibly, grossly visible that it is in mode of ignorance. Sorry, mode of ignorance. In that also, now if we are fully focused and chanting in mode of goodness, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, and hearing properly. So visibly, grossly, it is available. It is in mode of goodness. But what is our inner thoughts? That will again be divided into 3: goodness, passion, and ignorance. If we are chanting in mode of goodness and our thoughts and intention is also in mode of goodness, then that is best type of chanting. For example, we are chanting in mode of goodness and our thought process is that I have to chant my rounds properly so that I'll get mercy of Krishna. I have to focus my while chanting so that I'll get mercy of Guru and Krishna. I have to do my chanting properly so that I can rest of my day I can focus on my service properly. And then I have to do my service properly so that next day I can chant properly. So that intention while chanting in mode of goodness is also in mode of goodness. Now you are chanting in mode of goodness, very properly chanting and hearing properly, and chanting the mantra also properly. But in what is your thought process? You are thinking while you are chanting properly, hearing properly, but you are thinking that, oh, I have to chant properly, so that other devotees around me look at me and think that, oh, he's chanting properly, he's a great devotee. If and Otherwise, if you might be chanting properly and thinking about some service, I have to chant properly, I have to finish chanting properly. But then back of your mind, I have this much time left, in this much time I have to chant, and after this time I have to do this service, and then time, like there is a schedule, timetable involved. You are thinking about the timetable while chanting. That is in the mode of passion. And mode of ignorance is that I am chanting because I have to chant. Otherwise, I have no interest in chanting. You are chanting properly. You are chanting properly in the mode of goodness, grossly, but certainly your thought process is, I have to chant because I have told to chant. Otherwise, I don't have any interest in chanting. And then you might be thinking, see, you are chanting, and you might be some around somebody is talking or something they are doing, and then you, while chanting properly, your thought process is, you are thinking that, oh, see, I am chanting so nicely, but these devotees are talking, they are disturbing others and all. Your focus, internal focus, your subtle, your focus is not in chanting, so you are thinking of something else. So that is chanting in mode of goodness externally, but having ignorance in mentally. So that is one way to look, that grossly three types, subtly three types, and then there are 9 devotional service. So if you multiply like this for each and every devotional service, there will be 81 qualitative categories of chanting, of, sorry, devotional service. So these devotion 81 categories will not come in pure devotional service. They are always, because of there is a modes involved, you you will always tend to be in the mode of either goodness, passion, or ignorance, or in mixed, sometimes goodness, passion, goodness, ignorance, goodness, or whatever. So by doing this kind of devotional service, you it will be, it is very, it might look that we might be, if some sadhaka's goal is to attain pure devotional service, if some sadhaka's goal is to get out of anartha nivritti, come to nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema. So if sadhaka's goal is that, then we have to always be in goodness. Otherwise, if we are in anything else, then we might not able to come out of our anartha nivritti. We might, but it might take long time. It might take lifetimes also. But if we want to progress very quickly, then we have to be in goodness. Then only we will able to at least go to some stage forward very quickly. Otherwise, we might be always trying to come out, but we don't know and we might not come out of our anartha nivritti, and we might be thinking that I am chanting for 30 years, 40 years, why I am not progressing? Why even after chanting for so long, I have so much anarthas, I have all these 6 kinds of pollution: lust, greed, anger, envy. It's not at all reducing. Why it is not happening? If we have a mixed devotional service, we might not even conscious of what we are doing. We might be just doing it over a long period of time. It will become our nature, and since it became our nature, we might not be conscious at all what we are doing, and it might create a problem, and going to pure devotional service will take very long time. So at least the best chance, when we are under the modes, when we are under the control of the modes, the best possible chance for us to go to progress is to be always in goodness grossly and goodness subtly. And it will not come in day one, for sure, because we have so much conditioning. And as we discussed that by doing something continuously, it will become your nature. Slowly, but it will become your nature. So day one, we will be always in ignorance, or maybe both ignorance. So it will be like very difficult for us to progress. Any good thing, either in material world or spiritual world, you want to do, you have to put your endeavor. There is no shortcut for anything. So if you want to come to the stage of pure devotional service, you have to practice with determination. And how you have to practice with determination? If you sit alone and practice with determination, you will have determination for only 2 or 3 days. Fourth day, you will again leave this process and you will say it is very tough, and you will leave. In previous hours, in the previous purport, not in the previous purport, in Bhagavad Gita, actually, in Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, in one of the purport, Srila Prabhupada wrote that devotional service is very difficult if you do it alone, but it is very easy if you perform in association. So if you want to, if you have that goal, that you have, first of all, you should have a goal. If you don't have a goal, whatever you are doing will not make any sense to you. First of all, we should have a goal that we want to get to the pure devotional service stage. That should be our goal. And uh, and then how to reach that goal is the second question. Then once we have this goal and we get this question, we'll start inquiring. And if you attend any of the lectures, if you hear lectures, if you read Prabhupada book, you will get the answer very easily and directly, that to attain that goal you have to be determined. How should you be determined? It's very tough. You can see the life of Srila Prabhupada himself. He was very determined, even though he had so many obstacles. Other person, in if there was someone else, if I was there in place of Srila Prabhupada, I would have left the left and put the endeavor to preach all over the world long ago. But Srila Prabhupada was so much determined. Why he was determined? Because he was determined to follow the instruction of his guru. And why he was determined to follow the instruction of his guru? Because he was very much attached to his guru. Because his attachment was guru so strong, he got the grace of his guru. And because of the grace of his guru, he was always in association of his guru. Even though physically it looked that he was away from guru, he was doing his own business, he was not at all coming and meeting his guru, but his attachment with guru was very strong. Externally it would have been it would have been seemed like other devotees are very connected to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and they are doing so much service. And Abhay Babu is just giving money. He doesn't even come to meet Guru Maharaj. It might look like that, but association is not physical. Association is what you get inspiration from. So he was so much attached to his Guru Maharaj. So he was always in association with his Guru Maharaj. And because of that attachment, he got strong determination. And because of the strong determination, he could able to change whole world with nothing. He only with the determination and with the attachment to the Guru. So first of all, we should have a strong goal in our life, and that goal should be such uh, that it should inspire us. It's not like somebody comes day one and they think that if day one, if you put some high goal, for example, I want to chant 64 rounds from day one. It might not be possible. Even if you are so much determined, it might not be possible. It might there are few people who started chanting from day one, but If you see in the present age, when we are so much distracted with so many things outside, we want to put our leg, one leg in spirituality and one leg in material world, then it is not possible in day one. If we want to fully dedicate our life for for doing some devotion, some service to Krishna, then only it might be possible from day one. But if we have other responsibilities, and if we have other association, and if we don't have 100% of our association with devotees, if we are associating with outside people, then day one it is not possible. We have to always have a goal in such a way that at each and every point we will improve. If the person who are not 100% sincere in performing then devotional activities, they have to endeavor for first to become 100% sincere. And how to become 100% sincere, they should speak with some senior devotee or their siksha guru or their mentor, if in at least in private, and take guidance from them, because nobody in this world can do anything on their own. They should have a guidance. It's like, if I take an material example, if you go to a gym and you want to build a body, you just go to a gym and start picking weights and start doing it. You might be thinking, looking at some YouTube video, you start doing it. You might be thinking that, oh, see, I am doing it. Maybe I'll do for 1 2 days. I will, or I'll continue doing it. My body will be well built. But if you are not under, if you just keep doing it, your nerve might stretch. You might, and then you might be bedridden for 1 or 2 months, because you were not, you just thought that I can do for myself. And your goal was not according to your present situation. If there was a guide in gym for that person, he would have told, no, don't start picking the heavy weights right now. Start with small weights. And he would have shown him the process how to do it. So otherwise, in his guidance, he would have saved his time, he would have saved his health. So similarly, if we take such kind of example in spiritual life also, we might have so many other attachments outside. We might not be 100% in our devotional service. So at that point, how first our goal is to to perform devotional service 100%. Try to become sincere. And how we should become, we cannot do it by our mental speculation. We need a guide. And who will be that guide? Spiritual master. And if we are not in direct connection with our spiritual master, we should be at least be very close connected with our Shiksha Guru or our mentor. And whatever situation is going in our life, we should discuss with them, and they will able to guide you. There is very good story about uh, it's a hypothetical story about Alex. This story is there in by book in by Shivram Maharaj. It's Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. If you read his story of Alex, Shivram Maharaj has taken Alex as only to show how a devotee can progress in his devotional service. Alex was just a very ordinary person. He was a very average person. I don't want to narrate this story completely, but I'll just give the gist what happened. So Alex was like, he was a average student, college going student, and then he came across a devotee. He got attached to one devotee called Pushta Krishna Das in some temple. And then Pushta Krishna Das was guiding him. Pushta Krishna Das told, like, he was guiding it from day one. he did not advise Alex that you should attend pure devotional service. That is your goal. But looking at his situation, Pushta Krishna Das was guiding Alex, and then he started coming to temple, started doing services, started chanting. One day, some of one after certain period of time, he stopped coming. Pushta Krishna Das did not know what happened, and he couldn't contact Alex anyway. After few days, Alex came to temple with his girlfriend. Pushta Krishna Das realized that okay, Alex, and he introduced Alex's girlfriend to Pushta Krishna Das. Alex introduced his girlfriend to Pushta Krishna Das. So Pushta Krishna, but Alex's girlfriend was a staunch Mayavadi, I think so. I don't remember, but she was not agreeing to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So she had so many questions and she countered, answered, and so many things, but she was not agreeing to the teachings of this Bhagavad Gita. But since Alex was under the guidance of Pushta Krishna Das, Alex knew that Pushta Krishna Das, whatever he's saying is true, and he realized that whatever he is doing is not good for his spiritual activity now. So somehow by Krishna's mercy, he again came back to the temple, and now he became full-time temple resident, and then he started doing service under the guidance of Pushta Krishnada. Each and every stage he used to share his experiences, whatever is going on in his life, to Pushta Krishnadas, which he did before, and he went and he got entangled in material happiness, whatever you can say. So then when he started each and every point, when he started discussing about his what is happening in his life, Pushta Krishna Das was very merciful on him and was guiding him through his entire course of devotional service. And the story is very long. In the end, Shivram Maharaj says that Alex has went back to Godhead. He attended the pure devotional service. I encourage everybody to read that story. It's in Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani, and I think it's under the title hearing. How hearing helps us to attain pure devotional service. So this is what happens at every stage of life. We cannot. We should have the ultimate goal as a pure devotional service, but we should also have the small goal. Like there is a small term goal and long term goal. Our long-term goal and ultimate goal is to attain pure devotional service. But if we don't have short-term goals in our spiritual life, then we are sure to fall down. It will look like a burden to us. Because if we don't have short-term goals, only if we have an ultimate goal, we start comparing ourselves with devotees who have attained it, and we might not know how they attained it, but in that process we might get depressed that oh they attend it and they are doing it, and it's becoming very difficult for me. For them it is very spontaneous. And then for me it's very difficult. Instead of taking inspiration, we might not we might be depressed. And if we are depressed, depression is another weapon of Maya will try to take you out of this process by hook or by crook, because that is the service of Maya which is given to her by Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Maya is not a cruel person. Maya is actually helping us to grow in our devotional service. If there was no Maya, then there was no one. Then we would have been under again illusion that oh we became pure devotee. But since there is Maya, she always points us our bad things, and then she to only to keep us to check our devotional service, so that we will not be under illusion that oh I have become pure devotional service. There is something called pure devotee syndrome, which Yugal Kishore Prabhuji used to share with us. If we chant properly around for 2 or 3 days, and if we cry while chanting, we might think that we became pure devotee. But that is not the case. That is why Maya should be there. Otherwise, we might think that pure devotee. So Maya is not a cruel personality. Maya is actually guiding us in our spiritual, into the path to our to attain Krishna. Because if we have tinge of material desire, and if we go to spiritual world, then we might disturb the setting of spiritual world. That is the reason we might have come to this material world, because that place is very pure, and this remnants of material desire or any desire will with that remnants we will not fit in that place. So there is someone to teach how to be in that place. Spiritual master, instead of getting trained by Maya, it's better to be trained by spiritual master. So we have to always follow the instruction of spiritual master, and we will attain that pure devotional service very quickly, and very our progress will be very quick. Otherwise we will always be suffering in this material world and thinking that what I'm doing wrong. We might not even know what you are doing wrong. If there is a guide, they can tell you that you are doing this thing like this. Change your habits, change your way of doing service. Slowly you will come to the position where you will able to experience that bliss while doing services. So some, if there is a guide, by guide I mean either spiritual master if you are under his direct association, or Siksha Guru. So we take that guidance from them, and then you will able to be able to get to the point of devotional service. So that is that is very important. Otherwise we don't have any hope, we don't have any scope. So we have to always be under a guidance, and if we start thinking independent of our guide, our spiritual master, then for sure we have to multiply crores of billions of lifetime in this material world. So only only by surrendering to our spiritual master that we will able to attain that pure devotional service. Otherwise there is no hope for us. So this is what I wanted to speak today. If anybody have any questions, or if anybody have any corrections, please correct me. Hare Krishna. Do you have any questions?
If you're and you have to chant like internally.
Externally we should always Bhagavatarya Prabhuji was asking what should be our endeavor to chant in mode of goodness, both grossly and subtly. So whatever I heard, I will speak, Prabhuji. I heard that when we chant, we have to always we have to hear. We have to chant properly. We have to hear properly. If we chant properly, but if we don't hear, our mind will be wandering in many places. And then if we don't focus on hearing, then we cannot chant in mode of goodness, because our mind is wandering. We will be thinking so many things that will become in mode of passion. And internally our our desire should be, at least we should have a desire that I want to chant properly, I want to chant in mode of goodness, so that I will able to please my guru, I'll able to please Krishna, I'll able to, by doing this I'll able to do my service properly. At least that knowledge we should have, then only we can do. It will not come in day one for sure, because of the conditioning. Again, if there is some problem, we should ask our spiritual master or authority that this problem is there. And also our schedule, we should sleep nicely, eat nicely. If we don't sleep nicely, if we don't eat nicely, while chanting we'll fall asleep. If we are very tired, we'll fall asleep. We cannot be in mode of goodness. To be in mode of goodness, we should have proper health. If we like Shankeshwar Prabhu always says that it is very difficult to be in mode of goodness when our health is bad. We will be in passionate or ignorance while performing our service. So we should maintain our health properly. Then only our body and thoughts will be in mode of goodness. And then always pray to Krishna, pray to spiritual master. That should be our prayer. That please Krishna, please spiritual master, uh, give me your mercy. I want to become instrument of your desire. I want to come to the stage of pure devotional service. Please give me mercy. Prayers will work. Yugal Kishore Prabhuji was discussing in Brahmachari class, right? That any other thought other than that, if you have, you should pray that please don't. I might be very fallen. I might be getting thoughts of lust. I might be getting thoughts of envy. I might be getting thoughts of ego, pride. But please, Krishna, help me not to act on it. So that should be our prayer. So these are the things which I can think that we can be in mode of goodness.
For example, you will not be acting on it possibly coming, but it all depends on all. Who the charming strong, the charming from other parts will come, will not be acting on it, but still they will distract others. So, okay.
For thoughts that ignorance, we have to ignore it. If thought comes, then we have to ignore that thought will go. Like feeling, willing, and thinking. If as a thought for on the first thought, if we just ignore it, it will not even take long time for that thought to go away. Maybe another thought will come, but if we start ignoring it, it will not even take long time. But if we start thinking about that thought, then we will, without our knowledge, even though we are not acting it physically, but mentally we might be doing so much speculation on those thoughts. If we just focus, if we start focusing on some thoughts, and then there is something called mental fall down, physical fall down, right, Roji? So if we keep on thinking, then we will not able to focus properly. So it's better as a thought comes, let it go, and try to just hear the holy name while chanting. Just focus on hearing holy name. Thought might come and go, but focus on hearing holy name. That will help us to be focused and ignore our thoughts. That is what I can think, Roji. If you have anything to add, please. Anybody have any questions on Zoom? If nobody have anything, then we'll end this class here. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय।
Thank you, Prabhuji.
हरे
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Dhanavad pranam.
Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanavad pranams.
Thank you,
Dhanavad
Prabhuji.
pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanavad pranams.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad pranams.